Hey, what's up, everyone? It's your man, Sean Zittel, enjoying the cool summer breeze of Las Vegas, Nevada as I walk around my neighborhood. Let's talk Tszyu versus Fundora-Tszyu. And of course, there's always dogs barking in the hood. Tszyu Fundora-Tszyu. So originally, I thought this fight I thought Tszyu was going to get ran over in a rematch, and that Tim Tszyu was really going to become one of boxing's what-ifs, kind of like in football. What if Dan Marino had Ricky Williams in his prime? What if Dan Marino had that early 2000s Dolphins defense in his prime? But I regress. I digress. I do both. Tszyu, and I thought originally Fundora is going to run over Tszyu in a rematch, and that unfortunately for Tszyu, he will be relegated to what-if status. What if he didn't get cut in the first fight against Fundora, in a fight he was thoroughly in control of through 2 rounds, right before that cut happened, right before the bell in the second to end the second? And what if Tim Tszyu would have gotten that Jermell Charlo title shot that he was supposed to get in early 2023, but Charlo wound up having an injury and then fights Canelo and hasn't been seen since. So he was going to become one of the real what-ifs, because Tim Tszyu is nice. Tim Tszyu is good. He is a good fighter, explosive, good pull counter game, good accuracy and punch placement, and underrated hand speed, explosive guy. And he came to America with a lot of ambition and a lot of fire within him that I respected. But between the Fundora fight happening and then what happened with Pacquiao-Barrios, I thought Tim Tszyu, was gonna get ran over in this rematch. But then a funny thing happened. I saw Tim get to train last week for his media day here in Vegas, and I didn't see a fighter whose soul was taken, because isn't that Tim Tszyu's nickname, either the soul snatcher or the soul taker? And I thought maybe his soul had been taken, even though he's not a front-running kind of guy. Being an aggressive pressure fighter who carries a level of machismo with him, Tim Tszyu, I thought he lost something he'll never get back in the Pacquiao-Barrios fight. But when I went to go visit him, I didn't sense that from him. I sensed a fighter who's held his composure, who still believes in himself, and who has made adjustments in camp and has prepared extremely well for this rematch with Sebastian Fundora, to the point where I think I might even be changing my pick, because these two guys, they put on a bloody war that first fight. They brought magic they made magic in the ring. And maybe the boxing angels I'm always joking about, maybe they have a trilogy in store for them. But beyond that kind of stuff, to get to the X's and O's of it, Fundora is still a fighter that his offense is his defense. And Tszyu, he helped him unlock something, it looked like, in their first fight, how to really be more consistent and more effective behind his jab without always having to throw his uppercuts and get to the body. He can pelt you with the jab and create off of that. And I think he unlocked that in that first Tim Tszyu fight, which is something people have been asking for Fundora for years, since he became a contender. So I think both fighters may be better. I think Fundora will be better in the second fight, and I think Tim Tszyu will be. But one thing is very, very crucial that this whole fight may hinge on, and that's Tim Tszyu's punch resistance. He keeps saying Fundora should have killed me the first time. He hit me with everything he had. And Tim seems confident that he can hold up to it again. But one of the main things a knockout like he suffered against Murtazaliev does, as well as take your confidence, is possibly rob you of some of your punch resistance. But if Tim can still take the punches, this is a big if, then he's still the harder, more explosive puncher, punch for punch, between him and Fundora. He's still the snappier guy, still a little faster in terms of pure speed on each shot. So if he can hold up to the firepower, I think he has a good chance of winning this fight. Going back and watching the Cordell Booker fight, Booker was able to redden up the right side of Fundora's body. He was, by stepping around, making Fundora pick up his feet. He wasn't able to hit him with anything that really got his attention, but he was able to touch Fundora off his jab. And I think Tim Tszyu, if you go... It's so hot outside, phone overheated. But what I'm getting at is, if you look back at Tim Tszyu's workout on my channel, you'll see that he's attempting to turn a lot, to use some lateral movement, but he's keeping a tight circle while he does it. And Brian Mendoza, he was able to turn... if I believe, without going back to the tape, he was able to turn Fundora eventually into that big left hook knockout shot. And Tim Tszyu has a very good left hook himself. He beat Mendoza head to head. And Tim revealed something that to me in one of our interviews. He said, I think he loses power when he goes to his jab game. He takes something off his punches when he has to reach you at a distance. Doesn't get as good leverage on the shots. So what Tim, I think, is getting at is he can only get off his real damaging blows, maybe outside of the straight left hand, at a certain range, in a range where I can still punch him and his height doesn't matter as much. And if that's the case, I still like my power and my placement over his, talking in Tim Tszyu's favor. So if Tim can turn him, but make a tight turn, it's got to be a tight circle without him pulling out far, or else that won't go well. If Tim can turn him at times in a tight circle, that'd be adjustment he takes from Mendoza, because all he did was try to pressure Fundora the first time, and again, was doing it well early. But if he can keep a tight circle, not pull out, and take the punches as well as he did the first fight, I think Tim Tszyu can kind of surprise people and win this rematch, even though I was kind of shocked, because at first I thought everybody would have Fundora. I had Fundora, and then I went to the books when this fight was first made, and I think Tszyu was a slight favorite. So apparently they see some of the things I've now come to see late in this fight's life. But I want you guys to tell me something in the comments. Am I just letting fight week get to me? It's something I usually avoid. I usually don't change my picks close to a fight, because that's fight week messing with you, and that's the hoopla and the excitement of a fight getting to you. But in this scenario where I went to go see Tszyu the week before, and I'm just keeping an open mind, and also I think, you know, life isn't always fair, obviously, but Tim Tszyu doesn't seem like a kind of guy who deserves to have this messed up fate where he's just going to have to be a what if and deal with a freak cut in the first fight and then get knocked out the next one, and that's it for his prime. He'll never realize what it seemed like he was headed towards. I think instead he might have a great comeback story, and I think this could be part 2 of 3, and I think that there's a solid, very good chance that this fight is the fight of the weekend, and that's saying a lot with what I think will be Pacquiao's final fight of his career. Maybe not. He's proven me wrong a bunch of times. Bam unifying with Cafu. I think Bam wins that fight, by the way. I'm not going to get a super deep breakdown. I think Fierro put on a lot of weight heading into this rematch, and that's probably going to help Cruz make it not quite the two-way war it was, and Cruz will be able to handle his business. And then Usyk and Dubois, too, should be good, of course, for the heavyweight title. But I think this fight might be is going to deliver maybe the most special fight of them. It's so hot, I just had to finish the video at home. But in conclusion, man, I thought Fundora would originally win this rematch. Maybe I'm getting caught up a little bit with the Tim Tszyu stuff, but let me know if I'm reaching here, or if you guys think Tszyu can turn the tables and maybe turn this into a great trilogy between the two of them. There is a chance that Tim Tszyu, not just the punch resistance, but he just won't react well to getting hit. His reaction times won't be the same in this fight, and Fundora just ends it and continues to earn his respect, because Fundora is a guy still fighting for his respect, even though he's a world champion at 154. Still, a lot of people feel like Bakram will get him. Bakram, by the way, after rewatching that fight with Tszyu, that guy's got to get back in the ring. He should have already been in the ring. Tim Tszyu will have fought twice, and he lost the fight. And we're hearing Bakram might fight Erickson Lubin or whatever, but when I went back and watched that fight, I do think Tszyu underestimated him. But styles make fights. He may have always walked into a buzzsaw against the movement, the power, and the length of Bakram Murtazalia. But I don't think Tim knew what he was in with, knew what he was getting into. And we saw him look at the cut on his forehead, having that PTSD. And I don't think he was being defensively responsible that night. I think he's prepared to be in this Fundora fight. If Fundora runs over him, all the credit to him. I like Fundora. But I got a feeling Tim Tszyu and both guys I want to give credit to, because Fundora has come back from a knockout loss too, just like Tim's trying to come back from. So Fundora has had his moment to answer from that, and now it's Tim's moment to do the same. I think we'll be headed to a part 3, but let me know if I'm reaching here, and if Fundora is going to make mincemeat out of Tim Tszyu and show everybody that he hasn't recovered from those fights and never will. So, peace.